Hey guys, Slaughter Magic here, and Mark Rosewater just blindsided everybody today with his State of Design Report 2025. It covers the last 12 months or so of product design, and we're gonna find out just how much gaslighting he thinks he can get away with, and it has been egregious in past years. However, I will say that the State of Design was, provably worse in past years. Like, Ikoria, that was a catastrophe. So this isn't nearly as bad. The main problem people had in the last 12 months was this Universes Beyond junk. It's making so much money that no matter what he thought about it, I don't think he's going to address it. So he opens with, I believe the last year was excellent, some of the best design work we've ever done. That's a bit of a stretch. I mean, I guess if the goal was make the game as overpowered and fast as possible, turn standard constructed into modern, and make the game shorter for ADD people who have better things to do with their life on Arena instead of just shortening the timers and punishing slow playing, boat anchoring dickbags, then I guess they've accomplished that, but did anybody want them to do that? Their customer retention numbers would say no, but their sales numbers would say yes, and I know which one they probably pointed to in their last financial report, which I'm also going to cover later on this channel. Now, he's spouting off all kinds of numbers, like, this is the all-time high in 32-year history of the game for player count. But that's just because they put it on mobile and a bunch of Chinese people are playing it. So he starts with an overall instead of a by-set breakdown, which I think is kind of pointless, because if you're going to point something out, we could probably figure out what set you're talking about, but he does kind of generalize a couple things. His highlights are just complete nonsense, so let's see what the lessons were. Magic is at its best when we recontextualize the tropes we're working with. So he basically says, we could do giant stereotypes in the Universes Beyond stuff, but for in-universe we shouldn't. Like the House of Horrors Duskmourn thing and Aether Drift suffered from being a little too on the nose with some of our references. Yeah, you're just outright referencing movies, word for word. It was cringe, it was stupid, and it's in sets that people didn't like the overall setting for, so yeah. Dumb old Seattle man boomer humor didn't really work, who would have thought? He does make a point that they did a tribal or a feature, a function, a new mechanic, however you want to call it, and then after that, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Vehicles, I want to do vehicles, and then just zero support, which is, not true, but I kind of get that. The examples he used were both actually false, but I get what he's saying. That's why I have always said it. I've actually been saying this for years on my channel. They need to do wide open stuff, because then every set that comes out can make the deck better. Now, what they're afraid of is exactly what I just said, because they upped the power level and the complexity so high, and then added 50% to the standard pool, which is now 3 years instead of 2 years. It's actually longer technically now. So if they just did devotion, straight up, well, all you need is cards that are a color, cards that are double of one color, permanents that aren't two colors or colorless. Well, you could do it real good where people buy it right off the bat and then add to it, add to it, add to it. You got a 3-cost enchantment that's, 3 black. Now all of a sudden it's out of control and you can't really ban anything. So that's why they're not doing wide open stuff. They want it encapsulated, because also they want you to play it and then they want to undercut it with something that's better by power creeping it or by, immediately sidestepping to the left, so that you have to buy that instead without actually rotating it out. One will be creatures, and in the next set they'll do, go wide creatures to get around yours. So, okay, now you need to flood little 2/2s. And then the next set after that, they'll have just giant sweepers, killers, and -2 everywhere on everything. And well, now you can't play that anymore, you gotta play the new thing. That's what I mean by undercutting. I guess some people would even call it rug pulling. And that's why they don't do that. And he knows damn well that's why they don't do that. So he also says we need to be aware of complexity creep. Yes. Do I even need to read what he said? Yeah, you do. Nobody even wanted to build a deck in this deck building game back when the complexity was lower. There was less words on the cards, and there was only, 1.7 year rotation on average? Now we've got 3 years worth of cards to try and go find on some market somewhere to buy or to redeem wild cards for, which is already too expensive. And then you got the complexity of it, where I have to consider every white, mythic, and rare for my deck. I have to find every instance of, this little thing that they phrase differently. I could just type flurry in, but then I realized that, well, they didn't call it flurry in these 2 sets, so I have to use the phrase second spell. And, oh, look at that, there's more. Oh, and then there was a spell spamming card, but I didn't find it in the search, and it's 3 years old, so I forgot about it. And I don't like looking through 5,000 to 6,000 cards to build a deck. Nobody does. It's ridiculous. But they drove out all the deck builders, so it doesn't really matter, does it? It's just a bunch of net decking assholes copying the hard work of people on the internet. What else is new? But that's what they wanted. The lazy, entitled, short attention span idiots who just jump on Arena and spend a bunch of money. A bunch of impulsive, stupid, younger players. They drove out all the old timers who knew how good the game used to be, and this is where we're at now. That's my state of the game. Let's jump to Bloomburrow. Oh boy. His highlights are like, oh, the mechanics were fun, the mechanics were animal themed, and they were beloved. Nah, not everybody loved it. The interconnection of the world building, creative design, game design, and artwork was a home run. So like everything came together and kind of made sense. If that's the baseline and you're proud of that, hey, we kind of did our jobs and designed a set correctly. Wow, you want a trophy? Lessons. For some, the limited themes were too on rails. Without even knowing what he wrote, if you're playing rabbits, you're doing it this way. You're running exactly these cards. Done. There was one way to build a deck. They gave it to you on a silver platter, and who cares? Everybody's a net decker anyway. They also said there wasn't the right mix of animals, because there was only 10 animals and 10 factions, but that's how many there were? I don't know how you'd fit more in, how that would even make sense. Like, unless... Like, the animals had subcontractors. They had mercenaries. You could just hire a lizard mercenary. That actually would have made sense. They should have done that. He has a point. He also says there was some disappointment with the mechanical execution on some of the animals. Yeah, like flying made sense, but others are like, oh, what does that have to do with rats? You know, so, okay. Too many of the animals we focused on don't have enough cards. Yes. Look, you do a 10-way set, 7 of them are going to be unplayable. That's just how it is, but yeah, technically correct. Let's move on to Duskmourn, House of Horror, the absolute cringe set. So the overall feel of the plane was a big success. The first lesson in the negatives he puts is the 80s horror theme was forced into the set in a way that distracted from the overall vibe. So, the overall feel of the plane was a big success, but then I guarantee it was like one cringe designer said, let's put in this movie reference. Let's put in the cheerleader. It's like, what? Why do they have a cheerleader? What was this plane? I care about the lore, not why is there a cheerleader that you're trying to shoehorn in from, an 80s movie. What is that? Somebody thought that was just so good. It had to be in the set. It didn't vibe. None of it came together. The overall feel was crap. And all I cared about is what, like, in my mind it could have been. And then when I look at what's actually on the cards, I'm like, wow, you really screwed this up. You couldn't decide if you were taking yourself seriously or not. If I was supposed to be scared, if I was supposed to be laughing because it's stupid cringe tropes. So tonally confusing. So terrible. Ironically, pretty good for drafting, actually. I think I remember that. I don't know. I think I remember this being, like, shockingly, really, really, like, level and, like, fair. And you couldn't really get beat by too many of the mythics or rares. Oh, he actually mentions that. He says the mechanics led to fun synergies and an amazing limited format. There you go. They actually noticed. They're usually so incapable of assessing themselves that when me and them agree, it's a miracle. Considering that, historically, not just me, but the community, when it comes to the community's opinions on things versus WotC, they're not exactly batting 1,000. They're not even beating 50%. People saw the Ikoria companion mechanic and said, well, that's mathematically unsound and not going to work and I hate it. And everybody at WotC was like, no, give it a chance, no. And then finally caved on it. And then Mark had like a complete mental breakdown for 19 hours straight on Twitter. It was hilarious. The guy's got like pathological levels of ego problems. He says the contrast of Bloomburrow showcase what makes Magic great. So it was so different than cute little animals that we're so great, pat ourselves on the back. Yep. So once again, he mentions like the 80s horror theme and that things were just stupid. Why did they have a VHS player? How do they have a VHS player? But no, we got to put in a Ring reference. He said players have some issues with one of the set's creative choices. Now, this I haven't heard. I'm going to read this real quick and then summarize it. Oh, mundane modernity is what he called it. He said, we've had sets such as Kamigawa Neon Dynasty and The Brothers' War. That's a stretch, which pushed it into more of a science fiction feel. So in other words, not, 14th century swords and wizards, so they had technology. He says that generally doesn't bother most players. What the hell community feedback were you looking at? People hated Neon Dynasty. Like, get this stupid Japanese cyberpunk bullshit out of my game. This is a swords and wizards game. What the hell is this future crap from people who didn't play during Urza's Saga? But even that, the whole world wasn't, buzzing around in cars and stuff. I'm just saying. He said, this is the first set where people really got bothered by modern technology. Like a baseball bat, sneakers, jeans, all add in, VCR for no reason. Yeah, people took issue with that because you didn't explain it. They say fantasy wants to be inspirational. Seeing everyday objects, which are a part of our daily lives, deflates that. Yeah, it was stupid. It was lazy. You just wanted to do it because movies, and some idiot designer went too far with it. And I really want to know who it is and if they still work there. Then the third complaint was the set had a little too much going on. The enchantment theme, rooms, manifest, dread, eerie, and the return of delirium, impending, glimmers, survival, overlords, and just the whole way all of it interacted with the graveyard theme was a huge success. Oh, I thought he was going to say we're the problem. Oh, but he says, he does say it. But it was also a lot. For some players, it was too much. And that's something we have to be careful with. Well, I'm not sure what exactly I'd take out if we were doing the set again. I'm pretty sure I'd take at least one thing out, maybe two. Yeah, it's like fine-ish until you mix it with 3 years worth of other cards that I have to learn about and remember for the next 3 years. Then I don't like it. Now, I could read the damn card. If I don't remember what a keyword does and I can figure out what it does within one sentence, then we're fine, okay? It's the stuff that was so ridiculously complex that you had to really think about, oh, but how do I really use that and how does that really work? And then I misread a card, misremember something, and lose a draft, okay? That stuff pisses me off, and I think that's the negativity he found from the community on that one. So, Magic the Gathering Foundations. This is, I just call it M29 because that's what it is. It's legal until M29 and it's a core set. I don't care what they call it or what they say about it, that's what it is. Everything he says about it is just generic crap. So, I will say it is, by a small margin, the best draftable limited format set that they've ever designed ever in the history of the game since I've played it. There's a couple that get close, but it was because it was so comically easy to win at, which I guess objectively would not be a good design. I just liked that I got to Mythic one time in Limited after almost never playing it because I just sat there and drafted black, white, and won. I believe that was the werewolf set. Either that or core set M19. I don't quite remember. Might have been both. I don't know. I mean, in every other set, I just draft black, white, and win, but this was like extreme. But this one was like level, but I think they designed it for that. You know, yeah, it's staples and stuff, and I thought then, well, it's going to have no cohesion and just fall apart in Limited, being a complete mess, because it's just individual cards that are meant to be staples in the game so that they don't have to throw them into decks. And then it came together, and it was freaking amazing, probably because of the low power level. So the cons, I wish I was kidding. Some players were nervous about certain cards being legal for 5 years. Why? How? What? Oh, I just read the rest of it. I was going to say, no, people have been whining about you rotating too quick anyway and banning cards and, oh, I lost my deck. I could barely play it. Oh, I go to 18 F&Ms and I lose my lands. What are you doing? It's too expensive to keep up. People want cards to be legal for 5 years. What he is referring to are, quote, some cards. Kind of read right past that. Llanowar, Elves, and Omniscience. I could add about 12 to that. That stupid dinosaur, that other stupid dinosaur, and if I recall, that other stupid dinosaur. And yeah, Omniscience, a bunch of free casting bullshit. I wonder what went wrong there, you dumbass. I wonder if free casting has been a problem since 2013 when I started playing the game. You absolute knuckle-dragging moron. And why would they be nervous about it? Because they were freaking correct. They were 100% completely correct about it. The former might warp standard in ways that could cause issues, while the latter might lead to broken decks. Yes, people are just free casting Omniscience, resurrected from the graveyard, and we can deal with this bullshit until 2029. Thanks a lot, you absolute moron! Oh, and the other free cast win in one turn OTK deck would be the other free casting dinosaur that they put in that stupid set. Absolute morons. And since they're going to keep selling the set until 2029, guess what? They will never ban anything from it. Never. Some felt the set didn't go far enough. Those people are wrong. Shut up. The next complaint was the limited format was a bit tame compared to other drafts. Excuse me? The best limited ever? The best limited. The best limited I've ever played in my entire life. It's a bit tame. Well, it's not solved. You need actual skill. You could build one of 10 different decks and just run people over with that and have a chance instead of, building one of two and you either do that or you lose and everybody drafts the same colors and it's boring and stupid. Oh, boo-hoo. They are listening to the wrong people in the community. They're listening to pros and people like power gamers who just want to win at all costs, don't care about fun and enjoyment and, dynamic stuff. And like, it's the kind of people who play StarCraft 2 until they get up to the rank where they win 50% of their games. And then they say, this isn't fun anymore. I want to stomp people. And then they quit the game. Yeah, those types. Stop listening to those types. They don't have any money. Those types of personalities don't succeed in their careers because they're impulsive, selfish, and stupid. And so they have the lowest amount of money to spend on the game. Because they're entitled, lazy shortcut takers, and you need to stop listening to them just because they're the loudest on social media, probably because they're unemployed. So they have the most time to go on there and bitch about stuff. So next up, Aether Drift, that pile of garbage. Oh my god, this moron actually wrote it. Players enjoyed having vehicles as a mechanical focus for a set. Incorrect. They didn't the first time, they didn't the second time, and they sure as shit didn't the third time. Start Your Engines created an interesting limited environment. Start Your Engines did nothing for Limited other than Limited was slow enough to actually play the mechanic. Like, is that what you mean? Because that's just shit design. Getting to see 3 different planes in one was nice. Nobody cared. The story was idiotic and nobody read it. Nobody could even follow what was on the cards. And the card art, if I remember correctly, contradicted itself. So, yep. Lessons. Players preferred more emphasis on the planes and less on the race. So he pats himself on the back about, wow, it was 3 different planes and people were so happy about that. Too bad they didn't get to see it and it wasn't anywhere on any of the cards. Having 3 planes and 10 racing teams, many from other settings, spread things too thin. I don't know if he means story or cards, but sure, I'll take his word for it. The racing theme in general wasn't well received. I have to read what he wrote here. Aether Drift played into a lot of criticisms of last year's sets, where the set seemed more about focusing on specific tropes than bringing a world to life. Yes, while Duskmourn, House of Horror, had some complaints about the survivors, and some individual card concepts, the general sense was that the planes still had a lot of space to shine. Aether Drift was mostly about a race that not enough players cared about. Yep. There were a number of players, though, that enjoyed seeing Chandra and Nissa's story get more focused. Yeah, lesbians. Lot of those in the game. I guess just general perverts, because no women play this game. Most of the women who play this game are just men who think they're women, so, But I mean, far lefty deranged perverts who just like hang out and talk about deranged shit on Discord. Yeah, they're probably like, oh, I'm going to hear more about Chandra and Nissa and their relationship, even though Chandra's canonically straight. And everybody else was just like, she looks a little different in that character model. And we've got Tarkir Dragonstorm. We did a good job hitting our theme of best of both worlds. Look, I read every chapter of the stories of all 3 of the Tarkir sets, and I still don't give a shit, so I think you're wrong. But yeah, clans versus dragons, okay, cool. They just wanted that color combination, and then they shoehorned it in, like, that's not anything. We did a great job of flavoring the clans, creatively, mechanically, probably, I don't know. I didn't pay attention to who they were. What does the card say? Put it in a deck, move on. I've only got 18 weeks, if that, to learn about a set before the new one comes out. And if you include spoilers, I've got about 48 hours to give a shit about a set, sometimes less. When did the Spider-Man spoilers come out? Was it like, I think 6 hours before pre-release? Good job, guys. We're getting better at doing 3-color. Nobody cares. Too much complexity in 3-color isn't welcome in a 3-year standard pool. Anyway, lessons. Players really wish we had found a way to get the Dragon Lords in the set. And then you went and fit like other Dragon Lords. But yeah, I mean, returning characters, everybody wants them. Okay, whatever, who cares? Then he actually says Limited drifted to the 2 extremes. Oh, yes, it did. It was unplayable. He says, as Tarkir draft settled, there ended up being 2 basic strategies. Play aggressive red-white or play green-based 4 or 5-color strategy. I told people, you draft green or you draft speed. That was it. And yeah, it was so unbalanced. It was so unplayable. If you did it in quick draft and knew what you're doing, great. But then so did everybody else. And the people who like lost 3 drafts in a row never played it. And then the people who figured it out were just stuck playing against each other regardless of rank, so it didn't really work so well. And then they say omen spells look too much like adventure spells. Yeah, they looked identical to them, except they worked differently. I think you like put it in a different place or couldn't recast it. I'd have to see them side by side, but I remember it didn't work the way I thought it did, and I think I actually misplayed a card because of that. So yeah, that was stupid. Anyway, we're moving on to Final Fantasy, the last one. Oh boy, he's just gonna say money, 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 sales, money, yay, money, new players. I know it. Haven't read this one yet. Highlights: the flavor of capturing the Final Fantasy games was a slam dunk. I mean, yeah. The mechanics were evocative and fun. Yeah, they're all right. The limited environment was super fun, even for players who weren't fans of the video games. That is absolutely true. It was really, really good and limited. Like, really good. Lessons: not everything players wanted in the set got captured. How many Final Fantasy games are there? Really? Come on. I mean, they really, really focused on like 4 games, though. I mean, they threw in like 1 or 2 from a thing just to say they did them all. And then the rest was just 15, 16... 6 and 7. Now, those were the most popular and those were the most played, so it made sense, but I get it, but like, what was the alternative, you know? I think doing anything else would have made it worse. He's just throwing in things to make it look like, oh yeah, here's some pros and cons. Nah, he's all rose-colored glasses. One could even say rosewater-colored glasses. Anyway, the creative was less cohesive than other universes beyond. I don't care. The bonus sheet had some layout issues. Wait, did it? The players generally liked the bonus sheet. No, people don't like bonus sheets at all. They ruined the draft. Anyway, it kind of didn't because they're all shit, but as it related to card selection, card availability, and its impact on limited formats, but some had, what, did they repeat on the thing? Was it like not divisible by 24 or whatever they always do? That's really weird. But some had issues with how it was laid out. Well, you lay it out and then you cut them. So you cut them into individual cards. What the hell do you mean? It was hard to tell what colors many cards were. And he means literally the graphics layout. I'm like, I could not figure that out. I should just read the whole thing. But at this point, I'm sick of listening to his bullshit. Okay, yeah. So it was hard to tell from the graphical actual layout what the hell any of the cards did. Yeah, welcome to Future Sight. Anyway, they've been screwing this up ever since. There are ongoing complaints about Universes Beyond sets. Holy crap. Mark took his balls out of his wife's purse and actually posted it. People hate Universes Beyond crap. Stupid sellout, gimmicky, crossover episode cheap bullshit to try and be like this, draw people into the game, and all you're showing them is how shit and overpriced the game is and how they should just play limited and get out as soon as they move on from Final Fantasy to like Warhammer, and then like, oh, I don't play Warhammer, and they just leave. Like, who cares? People better be big fans of Spider-Man or that shit's crashing, just saying. And you know they're doing Star Trek, you know they're doing Star Wars, you know they're doing Marvel, he already said that. It's big fan bases, they're probably almost definitely going to target Elder Scrolls. I guarantee that's in the work for 2027. And then what was the other one I heard the rumor about? Let's see. Okay, I can't remember, so I'll say the meme one. GTA. They're going to do a GTA Universes Beyond. Except they're so afraid of guns. Guns are scary, you guys. Guns should be illegal. They should start banning butter knives too, so that certain groups in England stop stabbing people with them, which they did. If you think I'm joking, no, they did. They confiscated knives. You can like not cook now. And they stopped selling acid because they were throwing that in people's faces because of their race, their religion, and just because they hate them and their country and everything they believe in. And you know what? Let's just fast forward. In prison, people find ways to stab each other. So I'm pretty sure if you just gave me free range in my house, I would find a way to kill someone if I wanted to. I think maybe it's not the tools, it's the criminals. And criminals will always find access to a tool. Because I could throw this barbell at someone's head that's sitting right next to me. You absolute morons. What the hell is this video about? Anyway, they're probably not going to do a GTA set because guns are super scary. But there are ongoing complaints about UB sets. Let's see what he says they are. As this is the only randomized Universes Beyond product. The hell does that mean? I'm talking about today. I sadly didn't have space to discuss Magic the Gathering Assassin's Creed. Oh, he means randomized packs instead of static, like a pre-made deck. I don't think that's actually true, but okay, I'll take his word for it. I'm using this section to go over much of the feedback about UB in general. There are still players who don't like that we're doing Universes Beyond, but you, because we're hauling in tons of money. Oh wait, no, I misread that. He actually said, although that sentiment continually shrinks over time, because people just leave, your customers just leave. For example, Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy is already the best-selling Magic set of all time, and it just came out. Some players don't mind Universe. They said it was the best-selling before it came out, by the way, just FYI. Before they had sold any of it, they already declared it. Interesting. But they feel at home in Magic's fantasy setting. Some players are unhappy, and we're including Universes Beyond sets in Standard. Or that we're doing it. Yeah, some are unhappy that Universes Beyond booster packs cost more on average than Magic Multiverse booster packs. I didn't even realize that. I thought the prices were just going up. I don't know, they went up, they went down. So they're charging more for the product so that they can cover the percentage that they're paying in licensing fees to the IP owner. That is a scumbag move. That is the first time I actually realized they were doing that, and he just admitted it. And that's the end of the paragraph in the section and the article. He's like, some people are mad. That's it. What are you going to do about it? I think we know the answer. I think we know it's in that missing third paragraph there, Marco. Well, he was pretty accurate in this article overall. There was a couple just blatant lies where he's just, towing the line for the company. Okay, whatever. I mean, if I worked for VMware, I'd be saying the same bullshit right now. No, our products are great. We're bringing back the resale program. Don't focus on the fact that it's up 630% and it's literally just a Chinese scam. Like they went full Martin Shkreli. I don't care. I became a VM conversion specialist, so I don't give a shit. Hey, speaking of not giving a shit, about this channel, I pretty much don't, but I'm going to keep covering it, because I got to keep you guys abreast of what's going on, but I'll just tell you right now. I'll tell it to you straight. If you watch this far in the video, you deserve to know, okay? I'm not going anywhere, but I'm only going to make a video when I think that it's worth making a video, okay? There's certain things that don't make any money anymore, like live streams or honestly, even just spoilers. I'm probably going to do one spoiler video on some rares or mythics and that's it and shorten it out because I hate making them and they're a complete waste of time. And right now the videos pay about $5. In the last 30 days on this channel, I made $158. And on my new channel where I tell people how to rip off casinos, who would have thought $1,000 it's looking like if I were to project it, because between July 17th and August 10th, I made $858 and just ad revenues, no sponsors. And the rest is just comedy gameplay, but if you know, like you know what I'm playing, why I'm playing it, like why I'm on this slot machine at this number, because it's tilted in my favor, and I'm teaching people how to do it. So, I'm already getting attacked by people who sell that information, but they can kiss my ass. Because right now, and this is what really pisses me off about the state of the game, I could most likely make 30 times more money if I acted like I was excited about everything that came out and featured it like it's just great and covered Commander, which I don't give a shit about, and like covered the tournament scene, which I don't give a shit about, and just towed the line, pretended it was all great like some absolute dead inside Pokemon Go YouTuber. Where you can tell they hate the game, but they go out and fake it for people who still are excited because that's the majority, because like that's who watches the content. You guys, my viewership is down because the people who watch it just don't play the game anymore. They just don't give a shit. They just want to hear about what WotC's doing and some interesting news and stuff. So that's what I cover because there's nobody else doing it. Nobody my size. And like, cool, I appreciate that. You appreciate it from what I heard, and it is what it is. But I'm not going to be like, oh, this new set, I better stream it. I don't give a shit. I don't enjoy doing it unless it's well designed. And so in all likelihood, I am probably never going to stream on this channel again. So just is what it is. It is what it's not worth my time. It's not worth the stress. It's not worth me trying to fake enjoying it when it's garbage. The last set to come out was complete shit. It is unplayable in limited. It might be the worst limited set I have ever seen in my entire life. Dragons of Tarkir is close though. I haven't drafted enough to know, and I'm not going to. Even in sealed, it was shit. It was completely unbalanced, rares win the game, synergy wins shit, where you're just looking at what your pool is and how good it is. And that determines who wins. There's no skill, there's no balance, it's garbage. I don't give a shit about space, I don't give a shit about stupid trans space pilot garbage. I don't give a shit about their politics, I don't give a shit about this stupid, idiotic cliche story that was probably written by AI. I'm just not going to cover it. I'm just going to tell you when WotC fucks up. That's about it. And the rare stories where they don't, because, some of you guys watching this want to hear about maybe something coming back. Maybe Magic turning a corner. But they turned a corner into Universes Beyond, and it's a jackpot, so they'll be able to milk that for another 3 to 5 years for sure. So they're just going to go there, piss off everybody. There is no community anymore, and they're just borrowing money and viewership and interest and just sales dollars from other fan bases, which is pathetic. There's no OGs left, but I'm going to keep covering that because, you know, of the couple people watching that still want to hear about it. But what really pisses me off is I could not possibly need the money more right now. My expenses have gone through the roof, had some car incidents, had some medical problems, had just everything all at once. Once again, I'm a couple thousand in debt, and the best thing is I could count on 20 to 30 grand in my pocket from ripping off multiple casinos per year. 2026, that 10% tax is going to kill me, so I'm pretty much done doing that, which is why I'm moving on to just YouTube, entertainment, whatever, because I could afford to play nickel gameplay and just be funny, and whoever watches me. And then what I used to do, what used to make money, now that there's so many people doing it at every casino I go to, there's just no way to make money anytime unless getting up, you get up at 4 a.m. and hit the machines before they do. We are up, I think, 1,500 this year. And that's it. This entire year. I'm making like $5-10 an hour to go sit at the casino for 6 hours on a weekend and start ripping off machines, camping them, checking them, along with the other 10 people doing it in this little tiny casino. So that's idiotic. And it's not a viable source of income anymore. My main channel, this one, is down the toilet in income because I just don't give a shit anymore, and neither do my viewers. So right now my expenses exceed my income. So I am officially looking for a new job, unfortunately, and I'm very unhappy about that. Although the way my company's been treating me the last couple of weeks, maybe I feel a little bit less bad about it. But my resume and work history are kind of interesting. Like if I get into the interview, I got the job. If they actually hear from me, instead of just trying to guess, I've got the job. But I'm applying for higher paying jobs, and that, that's harder to get. Somebody with a master's degree looks better than me, even though I have like 20 years experience. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully I get to stay where I'm at, and then my YouTube channel, I would need my gambling channel to hit about double, and I think I can do that. But I got a couple flash in the pan things. I started drama with other YouTubers on purpose. One, to call them out on their inaccurate bullshit, and two, because I knew it would get views. Picked up 3,000 subs in like 2 weeks because of it, and then I started showing people stuff that you're not supposed to show them. But I'm good at the info for free, and I'm the first person to do it, so people are flocking to my channel. Oh, well, it makes money. I don't feel bad. I also don't feel bad about casinos losing money. Oh, boo-hoo. Oh, no. If I could snap my fingers and get rid of every single casino in the entire world, I would do it. They're bad for society. The funny thing is, ironically, I'm not even that into gambling. Never really was. I thought it was kind of fun for a little bit when I was like 21, 22. Then I'm just like, you know what? This is stupid repetitive. I know what the overall outcome is going to be. I know how math works. I'm not a delusional middle-aged wine mom who thinks that I can just manifest the win. If I concentrate hard enough, I can always win. Oh, I won. It must have been because of this and not because of random number generation. I'm smarter than that, so I was like, the cigarette smoke and the whatever, I'm like over it. We took like 5 trips to the casino. I was like, screw this. Then when they banned smoking, I went back for like one time just to support them, and then I realized, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure I could rip off this machine, so I did a little research and opened the whole world of stuff, and now that's all I play. That's all I touch. So it's kind of funny that somebody who isn't interested in gambling is now running a gambling YouTube channel, but that's because I don't usually refer to it as gambling YouTube channel. It's a casino channel, and if anything, it's an informative anti-casino channel. I'm blowing the lid off this. It's like instead of doing magic tricks, I'm out there showing you how the magic tricks work. And people are loving that, but I'm mostly showing games that are already blown, so I don't get too much attention from the people whose math and information I'm utilizing. Hopefully that's a nice happy balance. I'll cover mostly older machines. People keep subbing, and then hopefully when I run out of ideas and stuff to cover, then they're just there for the entertaining content. So if I can even hit 20, 30K, I could get a sponsorship. I could start making 5K. I'm not going to retire from my job, but man, that would take the stress off of me. And then considering after I helped out with that game project that you guys mostly don't know about, we're talking 5 digits. Okay, they paid me high 5 digits for that. I remodeled my house, got all this stuff that was like messed up and critically in need of fixing that I did not have the money for. About 30,000 in business and medical debt, wiped it away. And now it's like, I'm looking like I'm getting back there. Not to that degree, but like, you just can't get ahead anymore with COVID and with inflation. Living alone, one source of income, it don't work. But luckily, I still, you know what, after being in a really bad place for the last 6 months, I decided, you know what, I'm a smarter, harder worker than a lot of, at least the average people, average person. Look what I did on YouTube. What the hell is wrong with me that I can't just do it again? So yeah, my prepper channel, I knew that one would just be, it's just evergreen content. It was meant to make another $100 a month, which is about what it's doing. Cool. If I'm not like, this is the big one, the fear-mongering nonsense to low IQ morons who think the world's going to end, and just like far right crazy people who think the government's controlling their brains with 5G. If I catered to that, I'd be freaking rich. I'd be at $1 million. But once again, it's like, that'd be like me pretending to give a shit about magic. I don't. I really don't. And I can't fake it just for money. I have better morals than that. So I thought, you know what? What's within my moral thing that would be fine? Here's how you rip off casinos. Here's how you always beat them. And if I settle into that and that's my new thing, oh boy, but like I said, you might think, well, then you're going to focus on that and upload here less and less. Oh, no. No. If I get 100K in the bank, I'm retiring from IT. I'm going full time with YouTube. I'm flying to Vegas once a month like Bretsky does. And I think I'm a funnier, more entertaining presenter than like the top 3 gambling YouTubers and streamers. They're just so boring. They're unintelligent. They're not used to being a presenter. They're not as funny as I am, humble, but it's true. It's just dumb, cringe dad humor. Look at Vegas, Matt. I mean, people like boomers like that, but like you can get a wider audience if you're more of a like adept entertainer making better, wiser jokes. That's been my experience. So, man, if that takes off, imagine if I had $5,000 in my pocket to spend on this channel, extra expendable income, all the crazy shit I would do, all the people that I'd fly out to do collabs with, all the weird stuff I'd buy, all the pack openings I'd do. Oh, yes. So not only am I not going anywhere, but if I can fix my shit and turn this around, this channel's getting a little bit of an upgrade. So if that doesn't work, I think I have a pretty good plan for reviving a gaming channel that's a little bit different. A lot of competition there, but I ain't, new to this rodeo. That's the idiom, right? So that's the state of the channel update at the end of the state of the game update. Hopefully you stayed for it if you give a shit, and hopefully you left if you don't. So leave a big ol' like on the video. Just kidding, I don't care, and I'll see you guys next time.